Hey everybody, Steve Young here, co-founder of Service Tech Secrets, and we have another client success story for you today. I'm super excited. We have Trent Urban from the Wire Nut with us today. I'm super excited to have you here, Trent. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, hey, if you would just tell us who you are, where you're from, and what your company is, we'd really appreciate it.
Trent Urban, owner and president of WireNet Home Services. We do HVAC, electrical, and now plumbing, and we're based in Colorado Springs.
Awesome. Fantastic. And just out of curiosity, as far as your company background, you've been in the business for how long?
I've been in the industry, over 20 years. In service side of it, I've been in that for 11.
11 years. Got it. Okay, cool. And you came to us about, I don't know, was it 9 months ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay, cool. And what kind of challenges were you facing before you came to us? Where were you at regarding your service and your maintenance tickets? What kind of challenges were you facing? What was business like before?
We were looking to, so we've had a lot of successes in sales and everything throughout the years, of course, based on the person. And I was looking for something that could be more consistent and something that everyone could latch onto and do great things with, and simplified sales process. So more, better performance, better engagement.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And by the way, if you could look into the camera and not at me and not down at the screen, that would be awesome. Okay, cool. I'll edit that part out. Awesome. Well, cool. So would you say that when you came to us, you were looking for, well, what were your techs doing as far as average service call and maintenance calls? Do you remember what those numbers were? Approximately, best guess?
Yeah, average call company-wide. See, this is blended though. At the time it was electrical and HVAC. So blended, we're doing on average like 950. That was everything. Maintenance, sales, all of that. If we broke out just the maintenance, we were doing about 250 in maintenance.
Got it. Got it. Fantastic. And then you became together, you enrolled about how many people did you enroll in the program?
I think it was 6 of us. I believe.
Awesome. And then you guys went through the training, and I love seeing you guys because you used to get around. This is before the whole COVID thing. Right. You guys would get together around the table and you join the training Tuesdays and Thursdays. And how was that training process? Walk me through that training. What was it like for you and your team?
It was very good. It gave us all a chance. So what I did is I pulled aside a team within our company, just a smaller team, and had all of us do this. And so when we were doing this training, it was very cool because it gave us kind of a little platoon type feel. All of us very engaged with each other. And when they had questions, it was a smaller group of STS at the time, so we'd all just have a lot of those conversations and fix those role plays. Video submission of role plays. Really, the feedback I heard from everybody was great stuff. They really enjoyed it and they got a lot from it.
Awesome. I remember hearing Charles' success stories. Tell us a few of your team's success stories as far as their average tickets and what it did for them.
Instead of going into exact details, I guess I could say overall, I would see, 40% increases, 50% increases, things like that. And those were right out of the gates. Those were, like a matter of days into the process. And then it just got, quite a bit stronger. And then, they got more and more confident with it, and it became more natural. And really the training portal was easy to use. It was well laid out, and it was there at your fingertips. You're about to roll up to a call, you're around the corner from it, and you could go into your tablet and pull up the video that you think is probably relevant to your mood or that call. And so I liked the setup of it. I like the setup of it.
Awesome. Fantastic. As far as the overall, that was like 30, 40, 50% increase in sales right away. What do you think they've done as far as, last year compared to this year in percentage of increase? Is there a number that you can give us or something you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I mean, overall, so we're in the middle of COVID, so there's a lot of things that changed our measurements. Calls dropped, so we had to overcome that, which we did. All of that. So at this point, I mean, company-wide, we're 50% up in calls. Our sales are very strong. Because of COVID, though, we lost some people, just the fear that took them over, and then we've been on a mad hiring spree. So overall, the strength of the sales is very stable, and we've seen great increases. It's really hard to pinpoint an exact thing because it's almost like the entire landscape's changed.
I like it. I like it. Well, thanks for sharing that. What would you say you like best about the training? If you were to say there's 3 top things you like best about the training, what would you say those would be?
For me, one of them was that I could do the training in my hot tub, which I did a few times. Sitting there watching the videos, you know. So really, you could do it at any time. It was self-led. It was nice. And I think before even COVID, though, the self-led idea, it didn't really stick. People didn't understand it. Now it's a whole different world. I think people really understand that. So I think it's more relevant than anything anymore. You know, the class by class, if you will, training. Yeah.
And then what would you say? I mean, what do you think about the twice a week live training?
I liked that. Gave a chance to put boots to the ground on it all. Questions that might come up, or confusion that they may have had, something that just didn't sit right with them or something. You know, everybody has a different way of looking at things. Then They had a chance to voice that, and we'd come through and say, okay, here's the result. Here's what we can get out of it.
Awesome. Then what about the camaraderie of the people in the Facebook group, the level of people that are in the Facebook group and the success stories? How has that helped you guys?
Yeah, that was great. Talking with everybody and seeing all the standard faces and sharing tickets, you know, pictures of them, success stories, all that. It keeps it real and it keeps the engagement. Otherwise, you know, sometimes things tend to fade off. That kept that engagement in there.
You just brought up an amazing point. You know how you go to like a 2-day training somewhere, you fly to a 2-day training or whatever it may be, and you go through the training and you can only retain so much of it.
Yep.
And then you forget it as time goes on. It's like, you know, it disappears after like, you know, a period of time. But with the training and the twice a week coaching, is that something that you can see the value in being my guys being able to rejoin that training and sit down there and watch and ask questions live, to be able to keep that excitement, to be able to get their questions answered when they run into different objections and issues?
I think so, because yeah, you go to a live class and what are you going to do? You're going to take notes. How often do you really refer back to those notes? In this case, you can still take notes, but you're learning it in a setting to where you can actually go back to it all the time because it's a video. You can just rewind, go back. And in the Facebook group, you have those conversations. You can keep your questions till the next live meeting or post them in. You know, just I think the stickiness of it was pretty good. It's there.
Awesome. What would you say to that owner that's thinking, you know, gosh, you know, I don't know if I should do the training or not. It sounds like a lot. It's a big investment, that kind of thing. What would you tell that guy who's sitting on the fence?
If you're ready to use it, it's probably the right choice. Should be the right choice. If, you know, it all comes down to implementation. It also comes down to relevancy to your company, you know, your culture of your company, your trade. You know, what's the fit? How do you feel the fit is? It is an investment. But like any investment, you pile them all together and they start really making sense. They start making a difference. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying the same thing I've heard many times over. It will work if you actually are going to use it. If you're not going to implement it and you're not going to execute it, then don't do it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys, I remember seeing you every Tuesday and Thursday morning for a long time, and then your success was just off the charts. Now, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but we've implemented a ton of new stuff since that can help you guys.
Okay.
Right. We have another electrical meeting coming up very shortly here. Where we'll again write product scripts for you specifically. Hopefully you or somebody on your team can join that meeting, bring to the table any questions or anything that you want to have. And the training really has freaking taken to a whole nother level with our 14-day W Sales Challenge and the different stuff that we've added to it. Did you see any of that stuff in there?
I just had actually seen a post where you had, I think I was tagged in it, of electrical. So I just 10 minutes ago, actually.
Okay, cool. Awesome. But have you seen the 14-day W Sales Challenges or any of the
I have not.
Okay, cool. There's a ton more stuff in there, man. I'm telling you, if you guys aren't performing to the level that you want them to perform as individuals, all right, make sure they jump back into training. And I would plan out the next I'd make sure all of my guys got on the next 14-day W Sales Challenge. It's part of what you're already paying for. And it just kills it. Absolutely kills it.
Yeah, great.
Okay. The other thing I want to mention to you is that we do have the certification process. And if they're not actually measuring their average tickets, we should be doing that inside there. I'm telling you, it will make a big difference. Now that we're doing it and we're holding people accountable, we're seeing like 5X's in 3 weeks. You know, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Once you start measuring shit, how people are like, oh God, I went from a a $434 ticket to a $2,400 ticket now that you're actually measuring it and doing what you needed to do. So,
Yeah.
well, cool. What else would you say? Last thing, is there anything else about the training that you might want to mention to somebody, you know, if they're on the fence, or gosh, is it right for me, or will my guys buy in, that kind of stuff?
I'd say the buy-in is a group effort. If you have a chance to get everyone together, you're going to get that buy-in just by being around, you know, osmosis of that. If you're doing it, I've seen some cases where some guys do this on their own. I think that's more admirable, honestly, than any of the other people I see on there. They took that step and they said, I'm going to make a difference. And these were employees, you know, technicians who they didn't have to pay for their own training. They, you know, most wouldn't. So yeah, it's all an engagement thing. You know, are you ready for it? Are you wanting to do it?
What about that individual tech that's out there? You just touched on something that I think is absolutely awesome that most people don't realize. What about that tech who's driving the truck, who's not making as much money as he wants to? He has no incentive to go out and make more money. What do you recommend to that guy if he's like, you know what, I want to make more money, and there's a way that's very, very particular way to make sure that you do that? What do you recommend to that cat?
I would recommend he does it. One thing that drives me nuts about the trades is that there's such a mentality of I'll just skate by, you know, I'm going to get through, and it doesn't have to be like that. The trades have so much to offer that if you do more than just skate through and you fully drive it and treat it like a career, you'll blow away dentist money, doctor's money, all of that, you know, and you didn't even have to go and take 4 or 6 years or doctorate or any of that. So why wouldn't you?
In cases,
Right,
it's 10 years.
Yeah, it's right there in your face. Take it. Do it.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you saying that. That is so true. So some of you guys, I know some of you guys went from little money, like Charles, like in the second or third month, he had doubled or tripled his income, like within 2 or 3 months. What, I mean, is that something that you see can happen if they implement the training?
Yeah. Yeah. If technicians implement it and they run with it and they stick to it, then yes, they can make a big difference in their pay, and they will make a big difference.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, anything else last minute you want to add? Because I really appreciate your time, and I think that you're coming from a different viewpoint than most people because you're an owner. You see kind of all sides of the, you know, the playing board.
Right. No, nothing comes to mind. I think we covered it pretty well.
Awesome. Cool. Well, next time I'm out in Colorado, I'm going to have to swing on by.
Sounds good.
Real quick, let me ask you the last 2 questions. One, a year ago, where were you at in gross sales for 2019?
I'll skip over all that.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to see if business. Here's what I was going to say is that, you know, COVID-19 has impacted some businesses.
Right.
Right. And that's, it may here or there, but some people are still charging through. And I know you got the attitude mindset, all right, which is completely different than most people. So that's where I was driving with that.
So through COVID, we've been charging through. We've actually used it as a chance to take more market share, and we've been successfully doing so, and to fill the gaps that others are leaving. And you know, all of that, it's all a temperament, a mindset. What do you want out of it? And, you know, training is part of that too. So you either roll over and play dead, or you see, you know, when everybody else is running away, you run in. So that's
Talk to me about the mindset that you have going through this program. What's the mindset?
Of winning, success, making it. One of the big things that I teach is when you retire, what are you going to look back on, and what are you going to retire from? Are you going to be proud of it? Did you give it your all, and do you have something to show for it? And have you set a damn good example for your kids? Because if not, it's never too late to change that.
I like it. How does this program help with mindset?
There's mindset right off the gates. That's the first thing that the training starts with is mindset. You know, taking away restricting thoughts, things like that, and setting a new guidance or a new path for yourself and realizing it. The first thing is just seeing it as reality. So you have to do that.
Awesome. Trent, I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man, and I'm looking forward to kicking butt and taking names with you. Like I said, get your people in the next 14-day double your sales challenge. I promise it'll be worth every penny.
All right. Great talking to you.
All right. Thanks, Trent. Have a good rest of your day, bud.
All right. You too.
See ya. Hey everybody, it's Steve Young, co-founder of Service Tech Secrets. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that little red button. Down below this video, you'll see a little button that says show more. Click on show more and you'll see a ton of free resources in there to change your lives, your family's lives, and your company's profits. We'll see you in the next video.